Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of XR Talk Show. And I'm sorry, hold on a second, because I got all these stupid things going on. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about actually over here, and you can see. Okay, so yesterday, actually, I want to do this. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's good. So, okay. So hi guys. So today I'm going. So yesterday I did a talk show with. I chatted with Israel Dove, emacs uh, expert, and we and it turns out my audio is extremely bad. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, and so the audio is extremely bad um, because I haven't figured out how OBS works. I need to read the manual. Okay, that's one thing. Then the other thing is, okay, so this is guy who showed me this page. Let me show you guys. So it's a font. So this is he created a font like that, uh, and you can set to this font and you'll have that. Below is text for screen readers and search engines. Yeah, so if you want, if you like this, you can download the font here. It's open source. And let's see, let's pop this out. Chat. Okay, so that's font. But there's something I want to show you here. For example, let's say XR Talk Show. Oh, actually, before we do that, we need to update that. Copy. So create a new buffer, paste, enlarge, switch window, make it that XR start, command log mod. Okay, and adjust the window. Now there's this thing I want to show you. Okay, first of all, delete that, and I'll show switch window, put the title here. Okay, and switch window, copy the URL, put it here, make a URL link, copy it, switch to browser, and paste it here so you guys can see it. So anyway, so I want to show you this. So for example, I have this text. I select all and call the command emacs gothic. XR convert Latin alphabet gothic. You see? These are actually Unicode. You see, for example, I put a cursor here. Let's magnify. I put a cursor here. Okay, I put a cursor here and call describe char. And you can see the code point is, this, and in hexadecimal it's 1D535, and the character name is mathematical Frankfurt small x. So that's useful. But you need a font though. So what font is used? Okay, the font used is this one, but basically these are actually Unicode characters. So it's not you see, okay, so these are Unicode characters. So this is for example the first character is not X. For example, let me do that. A B C D E F G. Okay, copy that, paste it here, and select this, and I call XOR convert Latin to alphabet Gothic. Okay, and you got that. Then you can see, and if you check the first character A, describe char, and you can see the character is 97, code point 97, and the name is Latin small letter A. However, if you put the character here and you call describe char, and the code point is actually this, it's not 97, and the character name is this mathematical functor small a. So you see, these and these are different characters. In other words, these are different characters. So when you have this character, this is a character from Unicode. Let me show you. You can see here Xatalk show. Okay, so you go to Xali Unicode, and you can see the Unicode characters here, and you scroll down, you can see math. So on this page I explain what they are. Basically, Unicode created all these characters that are commonly used in mathematics, so including mathematical functor, mathematical bold functor, quite a few, and also mathematical bold. For example, this character is, you got the Unicode code point. So this character is not just simply capital A, it's a different character. So you got all these Unicode characters you can type, including like the bold stuff. Now once you type them, for example, I can copy them. Let's see, copy, go to emacs, go here, paste. Okay. Okay, so once you so these are Unicode characters, but to display these characters you still need the proper font. You still need, for example, this is a Unicode character, you need a font for this character. So where do you get a font? You can get the font. Well, you can actually, if you like, you can use his font. His font is this style is New York Times masthead. Okay, I think this font is a variant of there's a font called Functor, a variant of these Functor. So you can download his font, but alternatively you go to this page. You can let's see, browser display blank problem. Yeah, download free Unicode font. I believe it's in okay, I think there is a math font called Stix. Math font STIX. You can download. I believe it's open source. Yeah, Stix fonts. Let's see, go there. Okay, they are taking a while to load. Let's see. Maybe they need JavaScript on. You see, this website is anyways. So there's this font you can download. So anyway, so this is interesting. So the code is let me do this again. A B C D E F G. How are you today? Select it. Call Xal convert Latin alphabet to Gothic, and you got that. And the command, let me show you the command. This is the emacs command. It basically changed the character from Latin to this Unicode. So the code is here. You can see. Okay, so and the URL is here, so you can get it from my website if you want to use it. It's fun, you know. Okay, so that's the emacs command. Let's see, let's save these. Okay, let's go back. Let's see what's the next item. So I mentioned the font, Emacs font demo, Latin to Gothic, yes, and math fonts, yes, those are Unicode. And Emacs demo, okay, let's do another Emacs demo, 2 more Emacs demo. Then we're gonna talk about Google Plus. Hey Dukan home, greetings. How are you? Where are you from? Which location, what region, what country? So okay, let's do the next one. So if you guys have any questions, any opinions, just type it. Okay, I like to see them because it tells me whether I'm going in the right direction. Now let's see how many people watching. 3. Okay, good. Now is my voice coming out all right? Yeah, let me ask you a question. Let me try this, okay, and tell me if my voice is coming out all right. Okay, now test. Do you guys can still hear me okay? Scotland. Okay, so did you guys hear me okay back then? Few seconds ago. Oh, Scotland. Audio is good. Okay. Scotland, 1 p.m. lunchtime. I see. Okay, so right now it's 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. here, and Scotland is Scotland is like 7 hours faster. Okay, so that's Emacs. Let's see. So that's my Emacs code. Let's go back to talk show. Yeah, so let's talk about this HTML link to that link. Okay, so I created so I'm gonna do a Emacs demo, and let's move it here. So what these do, so let's copy a website URL, for example. So for example, I copy, actually not this page. So for example, I copy that page, I go back to Emacs, I create a new buffer, I switch to HTML mod, I paste the link. Now let's see, okay, HTML okay, so I'm creating a HTML page, save it as xx.html. Now open in browser. Now it looks like that. Magnify, back to Emacs, and I have a link here. I want to make it into a link instead of text. So I just press 2 keys and it becomes a link. Now showing browser. You see, now it becomes a link. Now back to Emacs and make it a paragraph showing browser. So that is a command, and the command name is actually that's not the one I want to show, but let's go to my Emacs blog. If you open the file, my Emacs blog, and you can see here is the code. This code will turn any text like that into a HTML link with the date the link is added, data accessed, and today's date. So that is a example. That is the command, and if you write HTML, you might use it. So the code is here. It's all independent. I mean that this is the code all you need, and also this is a great snippet of code to learn Emacs Lisp. So you can use it. Now once you have a link, let me show you. Let's go back. Now you see we have a link here, right? Now when you are writing blogs, you have, after a few years you have hundreds of links. Now some of the links go bad. So for example, so we have a link here. Let's copy and paste it here. And suppose, okay, look, suppose the link is dead, and what you want to do is you want to change the link into, let me do it, let me show you. Okay, let me call the command HTML make link defunct. Okay, enter, and it becomes like that, and showing browser. You see it has a line across. Okay, but the line is pretty bad. Okay, the line, this is okay. Let's try this. Let's try this. Okay, select all, insert the tag s show. Okay, yeah, this this is not good, because you see the s tag is a strike through. It means strike through, and but on the page is somehow it's like too low. Let's copy the path. Let's show in Chrome browser and see what happens. Yeah, this is better. Okay, so it's a Firefox bug then. Jesus, I cannot believe it. A Firefox bug. You see? Yeah, so you guys see what I mean? We just run into a Firefox bug. It's impossible these days. Anyway, so what I wanted to do was, when you write blogs, you have lots of links. Sometimes when link went dead, you want to change them into, strike through. And a handy command is what I just called. And the code is, let me show you the code. Okay, wait, let's show the message buffer. Okay, Q. So here's the code. HTML make link defunct, and here's the URL. You can go to the URL. So here's the code. Oh wait, that's not the code. Okay, so I need to change something in my code, because the make link defunct used to be on this page, but however today I just created a new page. I moved it to a new page, so the code is actually here. HTML link to dead link. Hey Israel, Firefox bug impossible. It's Israel. So yeah, so I was talking to Israel yesterday, and the audio is pretty bad. Yeah, sorry about that. We need to fix that. And then I think maybe we do another one. You know, like in 2 weeks or something. So link that. Okay, so let's what we're gonna do is let's just fix that. So okay, so anyway, so let's see. Let's try another one. So for example, copy a link here, back to Emacs, paste the link, make it wait, make it a link. I don't want my own website. Let's go to this website. Okay, this is a beautiful architecture, and this place is in this country. I kind of just discovered Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, and this country is pretty big. Um, like between Russia and China. Duncan says, nice when text markup language provide strike through in addition to the useful bold and italic. Yeah. Um, okay. I want to actually copy a link. So actually, this keyboard is interesting. I just discovered a few days ago, and you see, because this is like a dream keyboard. Imagine you have two of these, one for each hand. You can have all the keys. You can have them. They are one hand each, and they are inclined. And then the thing about this one is that it's got all these knobs. These wheels. You can control volume. For one, or you can control the other one for um, page up and down. You just rotate it. I think this would be great. The idea like that. But anyway, let's copy the link. So copy the link here. So we got a link, show in browser. Okay, back, linkify, make a paragraph, show in browser. Okay, now I discover the link is dead. Now let's just put a cursor there. Q. Okay, it changed to that, show in browser, so it's crossed out. Now let's go to the location of the file, open it. So you see I had so here is the code to make a link defunct, and the URL here is wrong because I just discovered this is the correct URL. So copy that, paste it here, copy, paste. You see, so this one is wrong. Delete it, and that's good. And actually I should make a commit of this file. So let's do, it's a good opportunity to demo the Magit mod. Israel says expensive, mechanical. Yeah, it's mechanical. I'm pretty sure, but oh, what? US 250 to 576. Very expensive. Yeah. The AliExpress. I think AliExpress is from China. I think. Oh, but however, all the text here is Japanese. So do they actually deliver to USA? I'm not sure. I don't read Japanese, so, but yeah. Hey, Green Deck. Good morning, Green Deck. Green Deck is in, that Gisketerberg place. You can change the language. Oh, okay. So Where does it say? I don't think I have JavaScript on. Let's turn JavaScript on. Okay. Please select the country you want to ship from. United States. Well, it's very popular in Russia. What is very popular in Russia? From China. AliExpress is from China and it is very popular in Russia. Oh, I didn't know. So they deliver to Russia? Your URL start with JA. Oh, okay. Yeah, but if we change that, okay, I'm not sure it'll work by, because we kind of have to guess, I think. Let's just try it. I just go to JA. Yeah, maybe they do have. Okay, go to the global website, English. Yep, there it is. Okay. So USB PR editing OLED screen custom keyboard Premiere Final Cut. Oh, all those are keywords. Shit, by now. Add to cart. It's kind of too expensive for me, but also I got, I'm happy with the Kinesis. So so I think this is truly a great idea. I really think so because specifically because all these knobs, volume wheels, the rotational cylinders and stuff. Um, these rotational knobs devices, they are the most fitting physical input mechanism for anything that has a direction like forward and reverse. Forward word, backward word, previous tab, uh, next tab, previous page. Uh, Next page. Browser forward. So and page up and page down, line up, line down, or cursor right, cursor left. So there are these pairs of commands that that are used often. Page up, page down, uh, cursor left, cursor right, or cursor up, cursor down. So they are all paired and in different direction. And I found that for these kind of operations, the most fitting device is some kind of a wheel, because with a wheel you can control the speed you want to go into a direction. You can you can control the continuous variable instantaneous speed. Meaning that you can change the speed at any instant in time. Like a wheel. Like if you do video editing, you have jog wheel. Those are extremely useful. If you don't have that wheel, then it's a pain. So in a similar way, mouse wheel, it kinds of mouse wheel works the same way. But the problem is that with even programmable mouses, you cannot control the function of the wheel. It's fairly hard. It's almost impossible. I mean, you cannot set the wheel to do things like, for example, cursor right. Well, you can, but the thing is, if you only have one wheel, if you change it to something else, then you don't have scroll up and scroll down anymore. So that's the issue. But anyway, so the wheel is the most fitting, physical device for any command that's paired up and down or left and right. So this is great, I think. And yeah, so but I mean, if I were actually using this, or design it, I probably would have adjust some of the positions. So yeah, anyway, so let's go back to, yeah, let's go back to Magic. So how long we've been going? 30 minutes. That's good. So this is my HTML mod. First of all, I need to change the date, version number. Usually what I do is I use the version. I started to use the version, the last part, as kind of a date stamp. For example, today's. Let me type that. Control U, Control U, then insert date, insert date, choice number 2. So this is 2019 April 3rd, 5 o'clock, 34 minutes 40 seconds. So I just remove that. That's old one. So let's go to the previous position. Okay, copy that. So I call Magic status. I need to update. So it says so it modified, yes. So I'm gonna save it. Stage for change, C for commit, paste, fixed URL. Okay, Control C, Control C. Okay, now it's committed. Now capital P, P, push. Okay, now it's pushed to my GitHub. Okay, that's good. So that's that for this function. So you got this URL. You can get a code for my website as well. So close that. Close that. What is this? We don't care. Close that. It's annoying that that Magic left these buffers. Before, the buffer name start with a asterisk sign. Before, the buffer name looks like that. But since about a year ago, in Emacs, when you have a buffer whose name start with a asterisk, it means the buffer is created by Emacs. Usually it's some kind of temporary, like messages, log, and so on. So Magic used to have these, buffers name starting with the asterisk, but about a year ago they changed. So it's very annoying. It's annoying because I start to see them, because usually when I switch buffer, like I'm using this command, you can look at the left panel. You see XOR next user buffer, XOR previous user buffer. What it does is that it skips all Emacs buffers, like messages and logs and stuff. But now, since the Magic buffer doesn't have the star sign, so it becomes it becomes like a user buffer. So it's kind of annoying. So anyway, so that's the two commands. Emacs demo URL to link, and link to strikeout. Okay, Google Plus. Let's talk about Google Plus maybe. So any questions? Anything interesting? Okay, let's talk about Google Plus. Google, the evil empire. So Google. Let's go to my programming blog. Google just shut down officially today. So if you go to Google Plus, you cannot. All the website is down. So they began, Google Plus began in 2011, and I just changed 670 9 links in Google Plus, change them to, a dead link. So for example, let's find, okay, let's search for plus.google.com. Okay, search under Xali info. Okay, so I changed all the links to dead link, and so now you can see closure miscellaneous. Let's see what it is. So this is closure code. Let's look at the page. Oh, this page is working process. Okay, a few years ago I was working with closure, and I wrote this bunch of tutorials. So anyway, so closure Google Plus this. Okay, so there is actually something I'm discussion. Okay, let's look at that. Oh yeah, so this is Rich Hickey. He created closure. Um, um, so yeah, anyway, let's not go into that. Let's get back to the Google Plus issue. So if let me know how am I doing. Okay, just say something. If you wanna, if I'm talking about Google Plus or something else you like to see. But what am I doing now? Oh, closure protocol. Okay, let's look at this one. Yeah, this would be interesting. Ah, shit. This is another page in progress. It's difficult to write tutorial, but anyway, Closure the language actually has a what it calls a protocol. Actually, it's just like how JavaScript has JSON. Like JSON, the format, which is becomes universal today. But it was basically just JavaScript syntax. So Closure, the guy, the Rich Hickey, he also created a version, basically, just like the JSON of JavaScript. So he created a format that is intended to be, used, be a universal, some kind of format, and in Closure syntax. Um, Wait, no. Sorry, I got confused with something else. Shit. Okay. Google Plus looked cool, but turned out to be useless. Yeah, let's go back to Google Plus then. Google Plus, yeah, it's one huge chapter of greed. I would mark. Google Plus began in 2011, and I would mark that as the date when Google became evil. So let's go back to some of the time. Okay, so Google began in 2011, and so there's this. You can see, you know, so I have this page, and there's this girl. Let's go to over here. So Duncan says, Xa, I know you like visualizations. Wondering why you don't seem to have gotten into WebGL with JavaScript. I love to, but the thing about OpenGL or something GL, that technology. That technology. I hated that because that is very low level. Every time it's like, okay, it's like when you want to draw a cube. Okay, a cube. Let's say just a cube. That's all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many lines is a cube? Just like 12 lines or something. A cube. Suppose that's what you want to draw. Now in Mathematica, it's just one single line. Okay, so let me show you how it is in Mathematica. So you just say cube. Okay, let's magnify. actually, so cube 000, okay, and let's say, hold on, okay, so this is actually a mathematical code. This represents a cube with the opposite corner from 000 to 111, okay, and this is like a primitive, and if you want to display it, you do it like this: graphics 3D, copy that, and so that represents the graphics, and in this graphics you have one cube, and but this does not display it yet. You want to display it, on your screen. Then what you do is you have display graphics, okay, and that. So if you put this in Mathematica, it'll show you a cube. And if you want to rotate it in real time, you say something like manipulate. Okay, manipulate that. Then a second parameter, something like view angle, something like 0 to 360 degrees. Okay, 0 is a variable. It should be somewhere here. Okay, let me try it then. Display graphics, graphics 3D, view angle. Okay, so, and here is a point in space, which is basically an angle. I mean, where you want to view at, and let's say 10, 20 degrees, 30, it's just some number. Okay, so this is a point where you are looking at the origin. Okay, so let me okay, so I don't have indent here. I'm trying to get the indent right. Okay, okay, it's something like that then. Wait, okay, so you see, here is how you display a real-time rotation of a cube, and let's say this is X, okay, in Mathematica. That's it. Now, but in OpenGL, in OpenGL, it's gonna be 1,000 lines. Yeah. Declarative 3 lines versus super imperative. Yeah, exactly. It's like back in 1990s. It's like I learned, okay, all these are related, tied to how I hate C and C++ and Unix. Those fucks. All these are tied to that too, because from my experience, okay, I came from a math background, so programming is great. I love it. I start to learn it, but every step I learn, I encounter these worst shit technology, like hack, incomprehensible, and extremely convoluted, unnecessarily so. That is C, it's kind of like that. But anyway, so I'm interested in visualization, math, graphics. So I heard, okay, you got this company, SGI, okay, SGI. Okay, we digressed from the Google Plus, but that's good. So there used to be this company SGI, which is the most famous company for computer graphics. So they have their logo looks like that, and this is actually a real sculpture. I went there and took the photo down the street, but the company is gone. The company is gone like 10 years ago. Um, but anyway, back in 1990s, it is the most famous company and the biggest company for computer graphics. For example, alias wave, many 3D modeling. Jurassic Park, for example, is created in the 1990s by their company, by special effects. But anyway, so I'm interested in graphics, so I learned about SGI. They are very famous, I love it, and I start to learn their technology. So one of the technology they have is the uh, GL. It wasn't called OpenGL before. When you have OpenGL, the SGI company already kind of went bad. Already. So anyway, OpenGL. I'm interested. So I tried to learn it. It's extremely complex. Very extremely low level, and then I learned about gaming. All the gamers are excited about gaming technologies. Game. Then you start to learn, study the game programming stuff. Their graphics, pipelines, and stuff. It's shit. It's just a bunch of fuck. But why is it that way? There's one reason: speed. They need the speed. That is the one and only one reason. But however, it's like, okay, it's not like just yeah, we need speed, so therefore let's try to design a system so that it's fast. It's not just like that. If it's like that, I'm totally fine. But it's like we sacrifice everything and anything as much as possible to get the fastest speed possible. That's like C. That's what C does. That's a Unix and C Fox. Um, let's see. Uh, so I don't know what's you guys' background and experience. I suppose many of you, C is one of the very popular language and among hackers. So I think many of you, find my opinion kind of weird and disagree. Okay, introduction. You look at these fucks. They copy my page. They copy my page, and it says XAS Educorner Introduction to 3D Graphics Programming. Yeah, but they just copied my page. And what is this Grok base? Yeah, another fucking shit. Oh, XAS resume, great. Um, so anyway, I have actually written an article about how you see. So these are 3D modeling software. I have always been fascinated by them, but I actually never. I tried to learn them, but never. I never gotten into. Uh, so there's a guitar, some, but I'm very much fascinated by these 3D graphics. But anyway, okay, surfaces. We don't want that. Close. Right. Close. Okay, this is a great article. I mean, this article has got serious stuff. This I wrote in 2004. Yeah. So close that. Close that. Logos of software industry. This page is about logo design. But there is a anyway. I got an article about. It should be here. Let me just find it then. Semantic noodle. Search for graphics. I don't know where it is, but it take a while to find it. Yeah, so OpenGL is extremely low level, and actually, I want to talk about that because there is a Xa Xali OpenGL. There it is. This one, graphics programming pains. Okay, this is not even. Oh yeah, yeah. This article I wrote in 2007 because I'm just very frustrated every time I want to. So it begins. I have a problem. I want to do 3D geometry visualization programming, but there is no appropriate tools. Oh, fuck the industry. you know, let me tell you the story, okay? I want to write a GUI, GUI, like menus, tabs, Windows. Now in Java, you got this fuck, this Java swing, this incomprehensible fuck. This is Java, like 5,500 lines. What they do? They do nothing. 500 lines just to just to begin to have a GUI, kind of the very basic, and nothing actually. This code demonstrates creating a GUI app with a menu bar and two menus. Okay, each having a few items but no actions. 500 lines. Um, so the question is, how do you imagine, is it really necessary? I mean, imagine you are designing, a programming language and a graphic system. Is it really, I mean, to what degree it is necessary that you end up with something like this, Java X swing? Um, you know, you know, that's what you want to think about it. Think about, in my opinion, in the same way of my opinion with C and C++ and OpenGL, I think they are all shit. And also, today, how today the web programming is the web, HTML and JavaScript and CSS is extremely convoluted, right? That's not even a controversial point of view. That's universally agreed. So, but you wonder why is that? You wonder why is that? And I today I begin, in the past few years, I begin to realize it's always going to be like that. Yeah, and in the industry, and why? Because these things are created not by some nerd who sit down and design a system. It's not that it's not that. What you see in the industry is the result of different companies fighting, to get money. That's the result. That's why, you know like when you code today, it seems there's bugs everywhere. The language is lousy and everything. That's a result. That's just a result of the all the companies, the evolution of the environment. uh, and I'm thinking it's never going to be clean. Yeah. So anyway, so back to these graphics programming. So here's an example of GUI thing. You got these 500 lines just just for an empty menu. Then you have the 3D programming pen. Okay, so that's about GUI bit, but what about geometry visualization programming? The answer is pretty much OpenGL, Mesa 3D, Direct 3D. Okay, this is written back in 2007. Canvas, HTML Canvas is also the worst shit created by Apple. You should have, the SVG instead. That's yeah, that's another topic. Actually, I do have so many topics. Canvas versus SVG. So here's a article where I talk about Canvas versus SVG, kind of in detail, but basically my opinion is so you can see comparison Canvas and SVG and the code comparison, but in general my opinion of Canvas is shit. It's okay. Canvas is kind of in the same mode of thinking with the OpenGL. Okay, that's kind of like that. While SVG is the more mathematical, simple, the kind of design I want. To this day, we still don't have a system like that for 3D, but people have tried. Let me go back to the article here. People have tried because I'm going to show you a few old history of the 3D. Okay, so anyway, this article, right? This article is my experience of the pain of trying to learn graphics programming. Mathematically, I understand it. I know computational geometry. I know differential geometry. I know math. Okay, so you are thinking, is it because I'm stupid? I'm not stupid. I know math. Differential geometry. They are very difficult topics. But then you get into programming, you got this. They are just like OpenGL, Mesa 3D. They are just shit. They are just crap. They are extremely complex, almost for no reason. Okay, it's just like you diddle. It's like it's like a mouse. Going around. So anyway, so I was trying to learn programming 3D game and stuff. So I started to learn. You have the graphics pipeline, you have the scene graph, so the scene graph, the space partitioning, shader my ass, z buffering, it is extremely complex bunch of things. Okay, and then but let me get to the anyway, to this day, I still don't know a thing about uh, a game engine, for example, or how do you actually do OpenGL. Like to this day, I don't know. I hope someone can teach me though. I always, I'm very interested in learning, but when I talk to other nerds or hackers, like most of the time, like they are not interested. I mean, for some reason I don't know why we don't a few people think like me. Like for example, if I know someone, okay, there are some people on Twitter I know. I want to learn something. They can teach me. Okay, because they've been working on this. Let's say game writing a game. But however, I want to video. I want to like let's talk in video because but usually they don't want to because they are like nerd. Okay, like they think the way like the typical elite hackers, which I despise. Okay, they think in that way. Why how is that? Because when it talks to communication, they don't want video. They want like just type. To them it's like, oh, I don't want video. Let me just teach you. They just type. To do this, you code this. They want to type, but that's idiotic. Because human communication, when you can see face to face, you learn it's 10 times more efficient than typing. So I mean, so I got this friend, okay, online. So we agreed that we like each other, right? And we want to, I can teach him something, he can teach me something. So let's get on video then. But no, but their thinking just don't turn. They you know, partly it has to do, with privacy, and partly has to do, maybe you don't, you feel nervous. I mean, I do too. I'm a nerd. I don't feel so readily to show my face. But yeah, but anyway, so there's this frustration, yeah, with many of the nerd programmers. Um, I was talking about, yeah, graphics paint. Actually, there's another article I want to show you. Quick Draw, where because during a time there is a talk created by Apple and HP where they want to actually create a high level mathematical system, graphics system, 3D graphics system that is actually high level and also very fast to replace OpenGL, but that just failed. You know, the thing about OpenGL and the canvas, this kind of shit is that they don't, that they don't capture the essence, the math essence of things. Rather, they always go under like the implementation. They bring out the implementation nitty gritty things to the programmers. So they don't. What I really, for example, look at this Mathematica is a great example. Okay, suppose you want draw a cube. Now, what is the mathematical essence of a cube? That's just, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 corners. Or rather, it can be reduced to just 2 corners. You just give the coordinate of 2 corners for a cube. That is the mathematical essence of a cube. Nothing more and nothing less. That's what math is. When you study math, it's all about that. You reduce everything irrelevant to its essence. So a cube, the essence of a cube for programming is just 2 points, 2 coordinates like that. So when so then you want to make it a graphics. You just wrap, your function, then another function to display it. The rest the computer can do, machine can do for you. Your programming language can figure it out. But if you do this in OpenGL, it's like I tried. It's like 500 lines, 10,000 lines. Background lighting, the ambient lighting, then it's fucking idiocy. Okay, so here's another question. OpenGL, they do it that way because they want it to be fast. But this way, you can make it fast too. Because, I mean, we are simply separating the issues. It's not necessarily true that you cannot be fast when you are high level. Uh, the point about those OpenGL low level stuff is that they bring unnecessarily they unnecessarily bring the low level stuff to the programmer. Anyway, so I think maybe that's it for today. 1 hour and 1 minute. Am I doing good, guys? Say something. So should I go back to Google Plus, or that's about OpenGL and 3D graphics programming. Yeah, I wish to learn something about game programming or 3D engine. Like I spent 4 years in Second Life. I talked about this last in few episodes before. Um, uh, Second Life is a whole bunch of, in Second Life it's very interesting. In Second Life, you find a lot more than half of the people in Second Life are women. Okay, and many of them are older women. they are, they are in Second Life to look for the youth they've lost. Um, but in Second Life they are all like beautiful princesses. Every one of them. Uh, so I spent like yeah. Okay, Second Life is the another story. It's the worst hack in the universe. So anyway, I spent like 4 years every day, like 5 hours a day in Second Life. Part of the reason is that I was hoping to learn 3D technology, 3D game engine technology, or how to write games, things like that. So I spent 4 years in it, learned nothing because, well, what I learned is basically is just hack created by Second Life, used in Second Life and not nowhere else. Linden scripting language and stuff. Um, but anyway, so Second Life. So where are you people? Say something, man. Hey guys watching. So I'm thinking maybe that's it for today. Let's see. Let's wrap it up. Let me maybe I can just close 3D engines. So Duncan, do you agree or not agree? Like, do you kind of see, uh, at least I mean, not necessarily agree, but you see kind of my point of view. Let's see, Second Life, Canvas versus SVG, graphics programming pen, 3D modelers. This article is great though. I want to talk about it maybe some other day because this is about um, algorithmic. First of all, I give a survey of the uh, algorithmic mathematical art. I kind of give a survey of all the types. Then I discuss something important, an idea. Yeah, the idea is algorithmic mathematical art. Now, this is not just any art created by computer, but rather it's about you want to create. First of all, I explain what does mathematical art means. Okay, it's not just any art, that the typically called mathematical art. It's not that. But also then I explain what algorithmic means. It's not just using a program to create images, math images, or fractals. No, that's not it. But I have a specific meaning. Um, I should talk about this some other day. Okay, great to see you, Scott. Goodness, Scott, what are you doing up at this hour? After I shower up and watch the recording, what were today's topics? I'm almost done though. I've been talking for over an hour now. So I was talking about, well, yeah, earlier I was doing some demo about emacs. Let's see. So for half an hour or so, I did several demo about emacs. Interesting things about math font. Then I was going to talk about Google Plus, but Duncan turned me around into talking about uh, computer graphics technologies like OpenGL and Canvas 3D. So, so Scott is in East Coast, and now it's 9 o'clock for Scott. So Duncan says, I agree, it's a general problem of making things unnecessarily imperative when they could be instead be declarative. Yeah. Um, yeah, I always, when you think about these things, like the history of, for example, the history of OpenGL, I always, like, for example, history of OpenGL, I want to know, okay, but usually these kind of things you find no information. It's very hard, and even very, very, very few people actually know answers, to things like that. For example, I mean, history of OpenGL. Okay, for example, history of OpenGL. For example, my question is, why is it designed that way? Like all the frustration I talked about. So I want to look for, so is it something wrong with me, or is it why is it this way? That's where I'm going. That's what I want to find out. But as it turns out, usually you cannot usually find answers. For example, like today's programmer, you might be wondering, why is HTML JavaScript this complex? It seems, for that question, I know the answer, but I guess anyway. So OpenGL, history of OpenGL. Okay, yeah. So for example, you have these links, but you go there. Usually, they don't really give you actual histories. I mean, they explain, which companies began what, but they don't actually tell you the history of the design. Why is it that way? You know, why is it that way? Design of the things. You usually do not find that information at all anywhere, because actually only a few people actually know it. You have to be in a company, in a team. You designed it at the time, during a decade where other companies doing competitors, then you kind of you have to be like that in that time, at the right place and person, to know the history of the how the design becomes, in certain way. So Scott says, it was just an API developed by SGI and then later open sourced as they evolve. Okay. So Scott, do you know SGI? I mean, do you know the OpenGL in detail? Like, I mean, Scott. Okay, Scott. I know Scott is working in uh, should I say semiconductor industry? Like you design CPUs, right? Something like that. Okay, so you and you're you program in C, right? So you are a C expert. So you also know OpenGL, Qualcomm's GPU design. Oh, we found the right guy. GPU right there. Okay, so Scott, maybe you can teach me something about that. Actually, yeah. Actually, maybe we could have a chat where you talk about things. We actually, yeah, we should have. I've been asking you. Well, I've been mentioning this a few times. We'll do Google Hangout, and possibly also broadcast it. Put on broadcast it, live stream or something. Yeah, yeah. I'll think about something and I'll contact you. So you work on texture engine. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's very interesting. The other thing that annoys me so much as I learned about graphics, like when you look at 3D games, they usually, okay, here's the thing. Like when we the one thing I find extremely annoying, it turns out, is that when you have let me try to show like when in the game, in the Second Life screenshot here, uh like in gaming they have these um what is a good example? Anyway, textures, like that's not a good example, but textures. um so basically everything, you know it's like they so textures is just an image, they plaster it, they display it on the wall, so it looks like bricks. For example, this floor, it looks like tiles, but it actually is just an image, you know plastered on it. So that when I learned about that in computer graphics, it was like it was a hack. I mean, the very idea is a very extreme silly hack. You just plaster something, so it looks like a brick or a texture. It's called textures, and textures turned out it's critically important, in computer graphics, because almost like everything is a texture. So in this scene, for example, you have thousands of textures, going on. It's just images, like image files. You have thousands of them displayed. They are just displayed in different angle. Uh, yeah. So anyway, so what does texture engine do? I mean, so actually the topics is becoming interesting, but I've been talking for over an hour. I think I wanted to we so Scott, anything else interesting? Tell us, or we're gonna close down. Because I've been talking for like 80 minutes. Let's see, history of OpenGL. Programming. So Scott says for every pixel to be rendered, the texture engine, computes where it would be in the texture, and blends the appropriate texels from that image. I see. I kind of see what you mean. Yeah, it's very complex. I can see. Yeah. We scale the coordinates and fetch the texture data and blend and filter it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean, Scott. But my feeling, I know this is not practical, but my initial reaction to when I found out about this texture and all these things is my reaction is that the whole thing is like a one fucking hack. It's so inelegant. You try to emulate all the, my ideal. Suppose my ideal is like you wouldn't have textures. You just have million billions, gazillion polygons and with colors on them, just like real life. That's like my ideal. I don't want not no textures. I want the real thing. Real rendering of polygons, maybe ray tracing or whatever, not just, plaster a picture on top of something to like a tower. So this like each this is a tower, but in computer graphics I suppose it's just a texture. Look, it's just so Isam asked Scott, does Qualcomm have a different memory chip for textures? Scott says, in most games now there are a lot of triangles in the objects. Yeah. So yes, it's a approaching your ideal. Yeah, I hope so. I guess it'll never really actually happen because then you have hairs, right? You have like rain, you have water. That's it's almost impossible to. Okay, I think I'm gonna shut down for today. You guys can keep chatting, but I think the video when I shut down the video, I think you guys can still chat, right? Yeah, I think that's it for me for today. I'm gonna go to sleep. And great to see you guys. Thank you for coming. Bye.